Spiders Monkey's Question. The morning sun shone dimly through the canopy of rainforest leaves. A few spots of light danced on the thin fronds of the ferns on the ground. A family of spider monkeys slept in the branches of a tall tree. Father rolled over in his sleep and popped his young son, Terry. "Who bumped me?" Terry shouted, jerking awake. "Did you do in your sleep? Why do we move in our sleep?" Mother's eyes snapped open. Another day of question had begun, and no one had ever had breakfast yet. Luckily for the young spider monkey, his parents were very patient. They were also very wise. They had been able to answer nearly every question Terry had ever asked. Terry, Mother thought it was wonderful that his first word was "why," but she began to worry when it was the only word she seemed to know. Terry asked questions about the landscape, and the family swung through the trees. "Why is the sky blue? Why are the hills high?" He asked about other animals' lives when they went to visit friends. "Why do joggers have spots? Why do ants live underground?" He asked about the tree they lived, why he fell asleep in its branches. "Why is it tall? Why does it have leaves?" He asked about foods, why the family prepared meals. "Why are bananas tasty? Why is corn yellow?" Terry's curiosity was truly endless. As Terry grew older, his questions had become more difficult. Then one day, Terry asked a question that his parents could not answer. "Why are we called spider monkeys?" Terry's parents could have guessed the answer to this question, but they felt it was time for Terry to figure something on his own. They tried to explain why they could not answer Terry's simple question. His mother took a deep breath and said, "In the days before monkeys could talk with one another, the name of animals gave every creature a name. The namer of animals give every creature a name. Each animal carries its given name until the end of time. Generation often after generation of spider monkeys have been called out that name." "How can I find out where the name came from?" Terry's parents exchanged glances. "Well, Terry," said his father, "there is someone who knows the namer herself. Lives in the other world beyond your forest." Terry had learned about the namer before. The animals in the forest had a great respect for her and all of her mysteries. Terry guessed that the namer must be an incredible being. Terry believed there were reasons for most things in the world. He wanted more than anything to find out what those reasons were. Terry began wondering about the many names of the forest animals. Spider monkeys was not the strangest. There were iguanas, jaguar, macaw, and puma. Terry began to think the namer might be a little silly. Terry went to find his friend, Balma Iguana. She was always up for a good adventure. She was always up. Sometimes she and Terry could figure things about without asking their parents. Balma was very excited by the question of where the names came from. Her parents could only guess where the word iguanas came from. Terry and Balma decided to find the namer in the other world and ask her where she had gotten their names. This was no small journey for a spider monkey and an iguana, but the reward seemed well worth the trek. After asking their parents' permission, they were off to another world to get the bottom of their curiosity. Terry swung himself through the trees, carrying Balma on his back. After all, iguanas are not known to be fast on their feet. After swinging his arm for what seemed like days, Terry reached the edge of the forest and Balma stepped out of his back. They could not believe their eyes. Neither had ever been outside the forest, and neither of them had ever begun to wonder about the other world beyond. A whole new series of questions drummed in Terry's head. He climbed out of the tree and started in amazement. There was space here where no trees grew. The sky was huge, bigger than anything. Little green spikes covered the earth. The friends were silent until their eyes settled on a strange object before them. It was the home of the namer. The object was smaller than many of the trees in the forest, and it was much less impressive. Terry and Balma went to the base of the object. It looked like a lot of branches were stuck together. Terry had seen things like this in the middle of the forest. They were left over from long ago creatures. Just then, a part of the object swung open. A giant monkey with no fur except on her head emerged. Terry's questions flew at the creature from the hut. "What's that you're wearing? Who are you? Did you name me? Why am I called a spider monkey? Why is Balma called an iguana? Why are things named Palma and Jaguar?" "Slowly, spider monkey," said the namer. "First of all, you are called spider monkeys because the way you climb reminds me of a spider." "Oh," said Terry, "that makes sense. But what about monkey?" "Monkey is a name for many kinds of creatures that resemble you," the namer said. "Oh, why?" Suddenly the namer got a strange look on her face. Herself did not really know why things were called that they were. "It sounded right," she finally replied. "What's it? It sounded right?" "Yes, look at me like a monkey to me. And you, Balma, look like an iguana. My favorite name in the rainforest is Sloth. I named him with a sneeze. I was allergic to him." The cuckoo named herself because of sound she made, and sometimes I just try to think of words that sound or make me laugh. You see, when I was young, I began to name animals. I used names to separate one creature from another, but whatever I chose, I was careful to stay true to each creature. Finally, it made sense. Names were meant to set apart each special creature. They were just like the names that Terry and Bomber were given specially by their parents. Terry and Bomber had reached their goal, while their name did not turn out to be a mystery, and they had thought they were happy to know the truth. The namer even invited them to come back if they ever had another questions. Terry's parents welcomed him home this time. Then they were asking the questions.
Good job! Wow! You passed! Click on I trying for perfect. You did it! Perfect!